Okay, for this lesson, I'm going to show you how to make the barrel knot. And two considerations, a clasp and a ring on the end, and then or a button and a loop. You know, a little bit different. So let's see. And I'll go slow because I know if you have never done this before, I want to make sure that you understand. Oh my goodness, there's my bead. Okay, I don't want to lose that. Let's put it right there. Okay, I'm going to start off with 30 inches of, I'm using 1mm leather. For the other version, I'm going to be using a 1.5mm leather. So, you need a bead that, any bead that can go through, you know, where the hole is big enough will work. So I'm going to measure out 30 inches. So right there. And this one, you will have to like kind of sort of tweak it a little bit. Okay, so you have your 30 inches. So you put your bead on, center it. Let's get that in there. Uh-oh. Go in. You know, it usually it's like when it comes off the spool, it's got that hook in there, and it just, let's see if we can like train it to go straight. Okay, that's better. So let's get it centered. Okay, perfect. Okay, so now what you do is make sure that bead doesn't move, and get one of your marking clips and put it right there, because now we're going to make a barrel knot on this side and then one on the other side, so that it looks like this. Oops. Okay, so what you do is you clip this right in there, and you take your peg and just hold it like this. Let me zoom in some. And then just wrap gently around. And you're gonna, when you wrap, it's gonna slightly go over your bead a little bit, but that's okay. Is that really, I'm gonna go 4 wrap. Why not? Make it big and then hold it. And then you feed your cord through, just like that. I'm going to tighten this. When you tighten it, just like tap it gently, very gently, and then pull. Because you don't want, you want the rings to like stay aligned. Because otherwise it kind of looks weird. It looks like they're like overlapping. That's what you don't want. So you just want to like squeeze them, pull, kind of twist, twist. And remember, if you're using thin leather, you do need to be a little more careful because it can break. And then you just turn it over, and then we do the same thing on this side, just like that. Oops. Just get it perfectly focused right there. Okay, 3, 4, hold, out, and in. Now on this one, I'm going to put a button on here. And I'll tell you some like advantages and disadvantages of, and you know, just some things, but let me get this done first. I don't want to mess it up while I'm talking. Okay, squeeze, 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 boop, boop, squeeze. Okay, perfect. Okay, we got it. Okay, so the next step is when you put a clasp in a ring, that adds to the length, but not so much when you put a button. Because, you know, the button, it doesn't have a length to it. So, but one thing that that I like to do is, you know, I'll put the button on, and then I scoot the knots, you know, down so they're even. So when you put it on, the distance, the knot distance from the button is, let me see if I can get that in focus. Yeah, so it's even. So this is, and this, guys, is going to take a little bit of tweaking because a lot, you know, a couple of things will depend on like how thick your cord is. So I'm going to go for a target length of, let's see, 15. Because I like my necklaces short, so that's 15. So I'm going to go 7. Oh, 7. Yeah, I'm going to go 7. And it's mostly because this this is since it's a big loop, it makes the necklace like shorter. So if I were to move these loops like this way and then that way, the necklace will be probably about 1.5 inches longer. And I can show you because I haven't glued these down yet. So I'll give you, let me just demo this for you because I think it'll help like explain. So right now, let's measure this necklace. But you know what? You need the loop for the button anyway. But there are alternative things you can do. But I just want to show you how it does add to the length. So right now it's at 8. 8 plus 7.5. Okay. So if I move these up, let's say close this, then move this. See, now it's gonna be so let's see, it's 8 plus, I don't like, yeah, 8 plus almost 8 and 8.5. So it added to the length. I know it sounds confusing, but I still don't understand it sometimes. So I'm gonna go for 7. Let's do 7 inches. So I'm gonna put right here, I'm going to fold and put the, and what I would do, you know, just to, you know, find, you know, what exactly works for you. And like I said, it depends on the thickness of the cord, is just make one and then tweak it. So this, I'm going to go from the top of the knot over to 7. Okay, let's right there. I'm going to fold. And sometimes what's a good idea is to write it down, because if you're making, because a lot of times I make like a variety of like different sizes, and then it's real easy to forget. You're like, oh, what size was that? And then you don't remember, and then, you know, you get sad because you make one and then you mess it up. Okay, so I'm going to come in here and make a coil knot or a moose knot. It's a moose knot. Okay, so I'm going to get that in there and I'm going to tighten it. And I'm not going to do anything with it yet because we need to get the button on. I'm going to come over here from the top of the knot here. And you can measure from the middle, wherever you want, but just as long as it's consistent. I think that's the important part. So I'm going to, but right here, we need to get the button on. So let's do that. So where's that button? What button should I pick? I'll pick this one. Let me make sure this is focused. Yeah. So let's get the button on. And I want to get it to where it's through that little, because there's still that bend in the leather, and that's where I want the fold to be. So where did it go? Right there. So now you want to get it centered right in the little teeth. And now we're going to make another moose knot. So there's 1, 2. And so many things that like that. This depends on, like, there's so many factors that can like change, like how big the bead is in the middle. I mean, there's just like a ton of. Okay, so let's tighten this and okay. So what I like to do is I'll scoot this over to where it's just enough to get the button off and on, so that I could still go like shorter. So let's scoot it down. Will that work? I think that's good because you don't want it too small. So at this point, this is where it's going to like its final resting place. I'm gonna like tighten it. And what I do is I take some GS Hypo cement. Where is my cement? Here it is. I'll show you where to put it. Because you don't want the knot to like slip away. Okay, let's see what surprises this stuff has for me today. You can see where ooh. It says don't squeeze, so I'm not gonna squeeze. I'm just gonna wait, guys. Because it will come out eventually. Okay. So right in there, you want to like, and you just want to keep putting, just be generous. I'll show you just about how generous you need to be, like that. I'm gonna put this, oh my goodness, before it starts oozing out all over the place. No. Wouldn't that be cool if they made like something like this that had like a suction thing that sucked the glue back in? See, because no matter what I do, it always like oozes out. But I do like it because it dries up flexible. See that? Let me show you in case you've never used this stuff before. It's really cool. It's like rubbery. Okay, so I'm going to put this aside, and then I am going to scoot. Oh, I'm going to put the button in here. See that? Now I'm going to scoot this one and adjust it so that it's the same distance. Because I just think it looks better. Let's see, I think go a little bit. Okay, a little bit shorter. Because, I mean, those of you that make jewelry, you know what I'm talking about. Okay, so right there looks good. So I'm going to take this out, and I'm going to put the GS Hypo cement right there, just like I did on the other one. So let me do that now. GS Hypo Cement 101. Okay. So, and you know, if you get it, it's stuff's amazing. I mean, if you get like a nice little blob right there, it will, and once you let it dry, it will keep the knot from moving. It's amazing stuff right there. So I'm gonna, let's see, what am I gonna do? Let's see. I guess I'm just gonna sit here and just wait a second. Oh no, I can't, because that glue is, see, that stuff keeps you on your toes. I just get like I'm just gonna set it aside to dry, but it's pretty much done. Okay, let me see if I get this lid back on. Ooh, okay. Okay, perfect. And then the other way that you do it, this one I already have done because you do it exactly the same way. You put your pearl on, you do your 2 barrel knots on the end. But this one, since you know, let me pick a clasp and a ring. Let's see, maybe this one. And the clasp that you pick, I mean, this is probably a little bit too big and too heavy for this specific necklace. So that is a consideration. You don't want something that's too like heavy, but you know, this is just like a demo. So I'm gonna, let's see, my target length for this one, this is gonna add an inch. So I'm gonna go 7 and 7 plus 1. So it's gonna be 15. So when I come over here to make my moose knot, I measure 6 because the moose knot makes the 7. So let me get my let me get the bend right in there. The thing is, you have to measure from the center of the pearl. That's the well, the tricky part because if the pearl's a little bit off, you know, it could like, you know, give you grief and you know. So I'm gonna go. I scoot it over so that way I know that the other side. I'm gonna go 5.5. That's gonna be my final. And then put it in there, and let's make the moose knot. But let's get our the pearl in there. I mean, not the pearl, the clasp. Then we do the same thing. Okay. And this one we slide all the way up. And on this one, when you cut this part off, the place that you put the GS Hypo cement is the like right in the hang on. You know, you cut you make it nice and tight, and then when you trim this part off, you put the GS Hypo cement right in there. So let's do the ring. So I said 5.5 from the top of the knot. Okay, perfect. Right there. And clip. So when I finish this one, excuse me, it should be 15 inches long. So let's see if I get it right. Excuse me. Okay, so 1, 2, and we got our 3 loops. Isn't this just like the best knot for finishing stuff? I love it. Get it nice and tight, and let's let me zoom out here. So let me get excuse me. Let me get a bigger board. Let me scoot my camera up because we want to get the I want to measure it to make sure. Okay, let's put this together. Put this here, put this here, and it is perfect. It's right at 7.5. Let's see. Perfect, right there. So that is, it came out exactly right. So that is how you do the coil knots on the end, and this it's easy, right? You just take 30 inches, boom, boom, measure, boom, boom. And like I said, with the depending if you need to make it longer, then you'll need to add like 2 inches per side for every inch longer that you want it. Right. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this tutorial and make one of these. They're cool. And the nice thing about these, they're very very layerable. I mean, they look great layered with other necklaces. They just, I always like have something like this on because it just looks like good. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next lesson.